The ex-president, Yar'Adua's wife, warns Tinubu's wife ahead of inauguration, says she will suffer attacks from husband's cabinet. Hey guys, welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for always coming out here. If you are just joining us, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Hajia Turari Yar'Adua, the widow of the late Nigerian president Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, has offered some words of advice to the wife of the president-elect Remi Tinubu. Turari Yar'Adua cautioned Mrs. Tinubu to prepare for possible attacks from members of her husband's administration, as she might become a target if her husband maintains a righteous and uncorrupt government throughout his term. According to a report by Daily Trust, Turi Yar'Adua advised Tinubu's wife to be patient and keep giving her husband advice. Speaking in an interview with BBC Hausa on the 13th anniversary of her husband's passing, the former First Lady stated that she was a victim of attacks because her husband was not an alcoholic, womanizer, or corrupt. If the incoming president is righteous and uncorrupt throughout his term, then his wife should be prepared for attack because they will use it to get to her husband. She said, "My husband was neither an alcoholic, a womanizer, or a corrupt person. So when people began insulting his wife, it was only to enrage him because he loved her. She would be prepared for this and be patient." Turari Yar'Adua also emphasized the importance of offering honest advice to one's husband, as no one else would be providing him with the sincere counsel. She should also be offering him advice because everyone around him will only tell him what they want to hear. She said, "But a wife will always sit down with her husband and tell him, 'This is what I heard, you should investigate.'" The former First Lady's advice to Tinubu's wife is insignificant, considering that Nigeria has a history of attacking the wives of public figures during her husband's presidency. Yar'Adua's wife was the target of numerous attacks from the media, civil society groups, and opposition politicians. She was accused of wielding too much influence over her husband and interfering in his administration's affairs. The attacks on Yar'Adua's wife escalated when her husband's health began to deteriorate. Many Nigerians accused her of covering up the extent of his illness and preventing him from stepping down as president. Her husband eventually passed away in 2010, leading to the inauguration of Goodluck Jonathan as Nigerian's president. In light of this history, it is not surprising that Yar'Adua's wife is advising Tinubu's wife to be prepared for possible attacks. However, her emphasis on the importance of offering honest advice to one's husband is also worth noting. In Nigeria's political environment, where people and corruption are commonplace, public officials must have trusted advisors who can offer sincere counsel. Also, he also talked about her husband. Many Nigerians still fondly remember the late president Umaru Yar'Adua's short time as the president of Africa's most populous nation. Ask most Nigerians today the last time they were hopeful about the nation, and they will point to the administration of the former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. In a report by Vanguard newspaper, the wife of the former president, Yar'Adua, has made some shocking revelations concerning the day that the late husband passed on. On the 10th memorial of the death of the former president, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, his wife, Hajja Tuare, in an interview with the BBC Hausa, disclosed how her husband had lived a simple and corrupt-free life. He was simple. He was not carried away by worldly things. For example, he could be using a wristwatch continuously until the strap gets broken into two. Unless I see it, he will continue to use it like that, she stated. Recalling the last moment with the late president, the wife will reveal that her biggest regret was leaving the side of the late president on the day he died, to break her fast. I was fasting on that day. In fact, I had been fasting non-stop from when he took you, and even after he died, I did not stop. So when it was time for me to break my fast, he was lying down looking at me. I felt he did not want me to leave. So I told him I was going to break my fast. He then shook his head and I left, she narrated. And she added that it was later she got a call and she met him struggling with his breath. That moment still lingers in my mind. I even queried with myself on why I left to break my fast. I should have stayed, she said.